Hey guys, welcome to chapel. Hear these words from Psalm 145, verses 1 through 2. Every day I will bless you, and I will praise your name forever and ever. Great is the Lord, and highly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall praise your works to another, and shall declare your mighty acts.
Thank you, Instruments of Praise. A week from tomorrow, we have an opportunity to do ministry, to do service, to be out in our community, and we will be cleaning 50 miles of county roads and making God's creation more beautiful. We're looking forward to that opportunity. Just a reminder to you, if we could get your pledge cards back. We have mailed out between 400 and 500 cards, and we'd like to actually mail out about 2,000 letters. So if you could get those in as soon as possible in the next couple days, we'd greatly appreciate it. We are excited to welcome back an alumni from the class of 2001 who is doing ministry in another part of the world. Please join me in welcoming Megan Coe.
Thank you, guys. I just wanted to thank you for welcoming me back to Unity. I graduated 15 years ago, so it's been a while, but I have a lot of great memories of my time here and just the spiritual growth that happened as well. Not this chapel, but in the old gym, just a lot of different speakers that came and kind of encouraged us never to underestimate the power of God and the transforming work that He can do in our lives. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. And I wanted to begin with a verse from 2 Corinthians 5, verse 17. It says, "This means that anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone, a new life has begun." So I want you to take a few seconds and think about someone you know personally who's undergone a transformation. Maybe that was kind of a change in personality. They had been shy, and now they're really outgoing and talkative. Maybe it was a change in physical appearance. Maybe they started lifting and they bulked up, or maybe they lost a lot of weight. Or maybe it's someone who had struggled with a certain thing in their life for many years and finally overcame that. That's what I wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to share just really briefly about my story. I had grown up in a Christian family, had a very solid base and a faith in Jesus Christ, but had always struggled with fear. I was fearful of a lot of things, constantly worried, and that did not lend itself to being very happy or, I guess, leading a very peaceful life. And through my time here, and then after I went to Northwestern College here in Orange City, and then following my time in college, God just continued to place people in my life who just came alongside me and showed me that love and the care and really spoke truth about who God is and what He can do. And just seeing the family of God come alongside me really inspired me to go out and want to share that with others, because it is amazing what God can do when we care for each other and support each other along the way. So I currently work for an organization called For His Children. Sorry, I forgot the little clicker here. And we have 2 homes. They're similar to orphanages. We care for at-risk children, homeless children, children that have been abandoned by their families or taken from at-risk situations. And we have a home in Quito and a home in Latacunga, which is about 2 hours south of Quito. So you can see on the map kind of where Ecuador is in the world. You may have heard of it recently in the news. There was a big earthquake a little over a week ago. And our homes were safe, but there were a lot of people killed and injured in that. So we care for about 55 children on average. And they're anywhere from newborn. We've had kids left at the hospitals that are brought to us, up to we have 22-year-olds. So we also have a care home. It's a long-term care home for children with special needs who will never be able to live on their own, and they were not adopted. So we'll be caring for them long-term. And I just wanted to share with you kind of our mission. I know it seems to kind of tie in with the theme that Mr. Wheelinga shared for your chapels this year, but we believe that all children are created in the image of God, and we want to come alongside them, show them love, care, support in this home environment. So we have caretakers, which are called TIAs, and they are with there's shifts, but they're with the kids all the time. They're showing them Christ's love. And then we're advocating for the child, whether it's through placing them back in the family environment, their biological family, if that's the best thing for them, or through an adoptive family. So I just wanted to show you a quick little video. This is David. He's one of our little babies that are in one of our homes right now. But this video gives an overview of what we do.
For His Children is a Christian ministry in Ecuador that cares for homeless children by providing food, clothing, medical care, education, therapy, and lots of love in a warm, clean, and colorful environment. The ministry's goals are to care for the abandoned child until they can be reunited with their birth family or adopted, and to share the love of Christ with these precious children and all who come in contact with the ministry. For His Children is founded on the principle that each child is created in God's image. He loves them and commands us to care for His little ones. In 1990, Clark and Melinda Vaughn and their two children, Philip and Leslie, moved from California to Quito to answer God's call to love His children in Ecuador. The ministry has grown over the years to include a large campus in Quito and a large home for children in Latacunga in the province of Cotopaxi. For His Children cares for an average of 50 children, ages newborn to young adult. Each child is valued and respected. Their health and emotional needs are carefully evaluated. Their legal situation is assessed to determine whether they can be reunited with their birth family, which is one of For His Children's priorities. Some children who are not adopted because of their severe special needs will remain under the care of For His Children. A ratio of 1 caregiver for every 5 children provides personalized attention for each child. School-age children have the opportunity to learn in an appropriate environment. For His Children is committed to providing a stimulating learning experience for all the children in its preschool and special education programs. The children receive therapy and stimulation according to his or her age and the specific needs of each child. An appropriate learning environment is provided to meet the child's intellectual needs in the case of those children who are school age. For His Children looks to be an instrument that allows each child to achieve understanding and feel the love of God by being cared for and protected, many times exceeding the limits capable of humans. For His Children is located north of the city of Quito, and there is also another home in the city of Latacunga. In this way, For His Children meets the needs of children in at-risk situations in and around the city. Recently, For His Children received a visit from Jairo, who returned for a visit 1 year after he was adopted by a loving family from the United States. There were lots of hugs, smiles, and laughter when Jairo greeted everyone at For His Children. He remembered the caregivers and staff who had been a part of his life for several years.
They were great. I mean, they, as far as the preparation for us and allowing us to know as much about Jairo as we could before we met him, they were fantastic. From a video that they sent to us of him, it's about an hour long, and he was doing different things throughout the orphanage, and it was great to see him interacting with his friends in a school sort of setting as well, and we felt like we knew him before we got here.
The bond of trust and confidence that is developed between Jairo and his parents is so rewarding to see for everyone at For His Children. It is evidence that their hard work to provide quality care and unconditional love for the children deeply and positively affects and changes the lives of these little ones.
We give a lot of credit to Para Sus Niños for that, because they raised him in such a loving, supportive, caring, positive, happy environment that was full of music and joy, and it wasn't like he was coming from a bad place into a good place when he joined our family. He was coming from a good place and went to another good place. And so we have so much gratitude to Para Sus Niños for that, because that has made his life so much better, and our transition with him coming into our life so much easier. He bonded with us just instantly and just has brought this joy with him from Para Sus Niños into our family, and he's just like a little whirlwind of happiness, and it brings joy to everyone in our family.
For His Children welcomes and encourages your involvement. Prayer is the most important way you can support the ministry. Prayer strengthens, sustains, and provides guidance for the ministry. Pray for the staff, the children, their birth families or adoptive families, and for the financial resources to provide for all that is needed to care for the children.
Many children adopted from For His Children are coming back to Ecuador in search of their roots. They want to return the love they received to the little ones here who are waiting for a family.
Aaron is a wonderful young man. He's very determined, which of course we knew that 18 years ago when we met him, that he was very determined.
And so it's a blessing for us that we've had an opportunity to see Aaron's Ecuadorian years as well, where he has been loved here at For His Children. And so to have those pictures and to have those memories and to know how well he was cared for and loved right here before we were able to bring him home to our home where he is loved and has been loved for 18 years old.
The Child Sponsorship Program provides special opportunities for a child based on their individual needs and preferences. Sponsorship enables a person to personally connect with the child, to follow the child's development and progress. It's also beneficial for the child to know that they have sponsors or padrinos who are praying for them and thinking of them. Believing that all children are created in God's image, For His Children exists as a Christ-centered ministry to homeless children, providing care in a loving and supportive environment, striving to unite them with their biological or adoptive family, and advocating on their behalf to others.
So that kind of gives you an overview of the ministry that For His Children has in Ecuador. And I just wanted to share a couple of stories of transformation that we have seen of the kids that have come through the doors of For His Children. This first little girl, her name is Dulce, and for those of you in Spanish, no, Dulce means sweet, and it really fits her personality. She came to us when she was a little bit less than 2 years old. At 18 months, she had been left with a sister who was 6, and then a cousin who was also about 18 months old. The mother had left the 6-year-old in charge, and while she was gone, a lit candle had fallen over in the house and set a house fire going. And the 6-year-old sister ran for help, but left the 18-month-olds. And Dulce had burns covering 60% of her body. As you can see in the pictures, she has a compression suit over her head. The burns were on her arms, her legs, her back. Thankfully, most of her face was spared from the burns, but she spent 3 months in a hospital in Quito and then was eventually brought to For His Children for us to care for her. And when she came in, they said she was very scared and shy and obviously very fearful of what had happened. She was in a lot of pain from the burns, and she had to wear this compression suit over pretty much her entire body except her face to help with the scarring and to help with the pain. And over the next 2 years, you can kind of see more of her personality began to come out. We saw this very sweet, outgoing little girl, and the pain was going away little bit by little bit, and so it was just really neat to see as she grew. And you can see this was just taken within the past few months. She was the one singing and laughing and running around with the other kids and kind of the leader of the group. And then we're really excited. Actually, just a week and a half ago, she met her forever family. They're from Italy. And she now has an older brother and a mom and a dad who love her. And so it was just an amazing story of the love and support that we were able to show during her time with us, which is such an honor for us. And then where God is taking that story now. And then another story, too. This is Angel. This was back in the mid-'90s when the Ireland family, who was a family from Texas living in Quito, Ecuador, had gone to an orphanage that was run by the government at that time and found this little boy who had been left basically to die. He had an inoperable brain tumor, and so the staff at this orphanage felt that he was better off just left to die. So he was skin and bones when they found him, very fearful, and you can see that in his face. She said, the mother, Penny, said that if you even went toward him, he immediately reacted and kind of pulled away because of the treatment that he had received. they immediately went to For His Children, to Melinda, who is our co-founder and director, and they said, we need to get this little boy out of this orphanage. So they worked with the government. They were able to move him to For His Children, and he was in the hospital for a while. He had sores all over his back and legs from being just left in a bed all the time, 24 hours a day. So they worked just to get him the proper care that he needed. And the picture on the right was him 6 months later. So you can see how the proper care that he was receiving, the food, the love, the nourishment, all of that made a significant difference in just such a short amount of time. The picture on the left is Penny, who is the woman who had found him. And over that time, her family continued to come visit him and just grew closer and closer to him, and eventually took him in as a foster child, and then adopted him a few years later. So she said as they spent more and more time with him, he began to open up. He was very happy and cheerful, kind of the life of the family, really. She said that he just changed their whole family. And he was capable of doing so much more than what the staff at the orphanage that he had originally been at had even thought possible. He competed in the Special Olympics. He loved swimming. He still had a lot of physical ailments that kept him. He had cerebral palsy and epilepsy, so that kept him from doing a lot of other things or being able to speak, but yet they found alternative communication methods for him, and he lived a very full life until passing away from a complication of a surgery that he had had. So he spent over 20 years with the Ireland family, and even now has had a significant impact on their family and on our ministry. His mom is actually in the process of selling her home in Texas and moving back to Ecuador to be the grandmother for our special needs kids in Latacunga. So it's just a really neat story of how this little boy's life just affected so many people and had such a lasting impact, even though he initially was considered basically worthless by a lot of people. So it's just such a neat story, and I just want to encourage you guys as well that whatever your interests are, your passions are, God can use those and transform that for His glory. And this is just one of so many wonderful ministries out there, and just want to encourage you to pursue those things. Maybe outside of the U.S. isn't where you feel called, but I know God can definitely use you even in this area, wherever you are. There are a lot of people hurting and needing love and support. Just wanted to share kind of how you can participate specifically if For His Children is something you're interested in learning more about. We have sponsorship cards, which some people sponsor financially, but if you guys are interested in praying for these kids, we would really appreciate that. My coworker Jen and I will be in the back over here on the side after. If you wanted to take a child for a card to pray for them, that would be wonderful. You're always welcome to visit Ecuador if you wanted to come down with a team of youth or people from your church. We always love that, and we have people come throughout the year, so that's always fun for us. And then just local support too. If you guys ever wanted to do fundraisers or even just sharing about the children, we've had a lot of adoptions that have come through someone who heard about For His Children or came down to visit, and they advocate for our kids. But really, I just want to encourage you again, you can do something here with a local organization, and there's a lot of opportunities, and I'm sure the staff and faculty can recommend a lot too, because you don't realize how much just spending time with someone can really make a difference, and the impact that you can have on their life. So I want to thank you for your attention this morning and your time. Again, if you have questions, feel free to stop by and talk to Jen or I, but I'm going to close in prayer right now. Lord, I just thank you for just your goodness and your love. I thank you for the power that you have to transform our lives and the lives of all of your children. I just thank you for that hope that we know that in you all things are possible. Just thank you for this place and just the ministry focus that is here at Unity, and I just pray that you would continue working in the lives of all these students, that you would just lead and guide them, that you would show them how they can love you and serve you in this area and beyond throughout the world. And I just lift this up to you in your name. Amen. Thanks, guys.